Right, kia ora koutou and welcome to the Hawke's Bay Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. My name's Angela Caves. I'm the Digital Events Manager from Digital Boost. Today with me, I've got my collaborating partner, Employment Liaison Advisor Tessa Williams for Connected.govt. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. It's wonderful to have you all here. This is day 2 of our Hawke's Bay conference. Yesterday we had a wonderful opening session and we had presentations by Connected, Digital Boost, the Hawke's Bay Chamber and representation from the regional business partners as well. Those sessions are available for viewing on the Digital Boost YouTube channel, as will be all our sessions from today and tomorrow. So we've just wrapped up a session with Potama Trust. We will be heading into a couple of other sessions this afternoon. If you would like to register for those, you can. We'll be live streaming and recording this session. We're live streaming to Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. So welcome to those who are joining us from the live stream. I'm going to hand over to Tessa. Tessa's going to do a quick housekeeping and then she's going to introduce our guest speaker for today. Thanks, Tess.
Awesome, thank you. Kia ora koutou and welcome again. Just before I get started, I'll be manning the chat throughout the session, and so if Tui mentions any links or emails or phone numbers, then I'll pop them in there. If you have any questions or thoughts, then you're welcome to put them in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll round them up at the end and put them forward. Without further ado, I'm really excited for the session about how Amotai are supporting our Maori and Pacifica businesses and buyers, and all about supplier diversity. So I'll hand it over to Tui Babington from Amotai. Welcome, Tui.
Welcome, Tui.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me today. Kia ora, everyone. Ko Hukarangi Te Maunga, ko Waipu Te Awa, ko Ngāti Porou Te Iwi, ko Tui Babington Aho. I am the Manuhuia for Amotai, and I'm based in Tairāwhiti, although I'm up in Tamaki and Makaurau at the moment. And I look after the Hiratonga region as well. So thank you for inviting me along to come and talk about Amotai. So yeah, I've got a little presentation here. We'll just flick through that, but first of all, I'll start with a little video. So bear with me.
Supplier diversity is a global practice. Here in Aotearoa, our experience is that Māori and Pacifica businesses are the untapped change agents in creating a more inclusive and more sustainable New Zealand economy. Business is one of the main ways Māori and Pacifica can build wealth for their families and communities. That's why we advocate for supplier diversity, getting more Māori and Pacifica businesses contract opportunities with government agencies, local councils, private enterprises, iwi and other not-for-profit organisations. Supplier diversity is a strategic and intentional business process that proactively engages, supports and enables businesses owned by Indigenous people, minority groups, women and social enterprises to be engaged in business-to-business supply chains. Here in Aotearoa, supplier diversity specifically focuses on Māori and Pacifica businesses. Its aim is to level the playing field so these businesses have fairer access to customers and markets. By diversifying your spend, you open up incredible benefits not just for the organisations you contract, but for your own organisation as well. Supplier diversity enables this to happen and supports economic development not just for Māori and Pacifica communities, but for Aotearoa as a whole. When Māori and Pacifica communities prosper, we all prosper. A Māori business is a business that has at least 50% shareholdings by someone who has whakapapa Māori. A Pacifica business is a business that has at least 50% shareholdings held by someone who has Indigenous whakapapa links to the Pacifica nations. Supplier diversity helps to close the wealth gap in Aotearoa, create more employment opportunities for Māori and Pacifica people, create more Māori and Pacifica role models, grow more Māori and Pacifica businesses, drive innovation, and much more. Creating quality supplier diversity programs is also a major competitive advantage and can lead to winning more work, accessing new revenue streams and new markets. So, how does it work? Amotai is the supplier diversity intermediary and experts in supplier diversity in Aotearoa. We connect Māori and Pacifica businesses to contract opportunities. Māori and Pacifica businesses register with Amotai for free. Their business ownership is verified by our verification team, and we connect with each business to learn more about their services and business journey. Buyers that want to buy from Māori and Pacifica businesses subscribe to Amotai and can choose the level of support they require to connect and purchase from Amotai businesses. Having one verified database makes it easy for buying organisations to search for Māori and Pacifica businesses by region and category of work and purchase from those businesses. Supplier diversity creates a more inclusive and more sustainable New Zealand economy. The tide is turning. Join Amotai, Supplier Diversity Aotearoa.
Yeah, so gosh, I haven't actually watched that video in a while now, and it basically summed up my presentation really well, but we'll go through the presentation. Yeah, it was a good little video that we kind of kickstarted off a year ago. So just let me get my presentation up. All right, can we see that?
Yep, awesome.
Cool. So yeah, Amotai, Supply Diversity Aotearoa. So we'll just go through a few of the basics for now. So Social Procurement 101. So what does that actually look like? So that's talking about procuring services that have a social impact. So buying any kind of goods and services from a Māori or a Pacifica business. And these are some of the levers that we look at when we're talking about supply diversity. But where Amotai focuses is down in the right-hand corner here around supplier development and supplier diversity. So supplier development, we're talking about our Māori and Pacifica businesses and looking at their capability and capacity and making sure that they are ready to tender for documents and programs of work with councils, iwi, and the private sector. And what we do know is that government and agencies, some government agencies are mandated with 5% to spend with Māori and Pacifica businesses. So this is really the field that we're playing in with helping our Indigenous people grow their capability and capacity and win some contracts. So these are some of the supply diversity levers that we've been able to pull since Amotai has been about. So Amotai has been around for about 18 months now. Previously, we were known as He Waka Ika Noa, and we've actually started out of the Auckland City Council. And so, yeah, these are some of the projects that we've looked at across the country. And here you'll see in Tairāwhiti, we worked with Iconic Group around securing some kāinga order housing. So that was working with them to engage with kāinga order and win those contracts. Where my role came into play was June last year and looking at the PDU contracts. So those were the Provincial Growth Fund money that was distributed out into the regions. And so what we saw there was that the main contract holders had their contracts, and a lot of those contracts had supply diversity clauses in them, which meant that they needed to engage with Māori and Pacifica businesses. So take a tier 1 business, for example, and then looking at subcontractors, which were your Māori and Pacifica businesses. And then from there, that's when the government set those targets. And this is an easy way for the government to look at some of that, is by putting these targets in these contracts. So there's a number of projects in Heretaunga that have these targets in them, and I'm working alongside the tier 1 businesses to make that reality. So yeah, what does Amotai do? Well, we connect our Maori businesses with buyers. So a Maori business can be anything. I mean, it's kind of started out of the construction boom. So, you know, up in Auckland where this started, there was a lot of construction work and civils work. And so looking at the whole supply chain within that. So you're looking at your plumbers, your electricians, your block layers, your roading, your fencing, all of that sort of stuff. But we're not just talking about that. We're talking about every Māori and Pacifica business. And so when we talk about buyers, we're talking about government agencies, iwi, and anyone that wants to engage in this process. So I just wanted to introduce you to Aroha. Well, she's not with us, but this is Aroha on screen. Aroha is a cleaner, and she's been working in the cleaning industry for 8 years. For 8 years, she worked and never got a pay rise, but always managed staff and worked towards her certificates. So she was very well qualified in her field. She reached out to Amotai and said that she wanted to start her own business. So we helped her on that journey, and we linked her in with a business mentor. And she registered her own business on the company's register, and she started out on her own. She then registered with Amotai on our database, and some of our buyers saw her on there, and she now has a number of contracts with tier 1 businesses. And so what that's meant for Aroha is now she, 1, runs her own business, 2, she's got about 15 staff, and she's winning contracts left, right and centre. So it's a really positive story for her. And so, you know, that's what I wanted to make clear, is it's not just about the construction industry, although in saying that, a lot of her cleaning does get done on commercial building sites, or with Fulton Hogan, or with Downer, or, you know, those big tier 1 businesses. So it's really important that if you are joining Amotai, you have your information in our database very clear. We'll get to that, and if I don't cover any of the system stuff, please put some questions in the field. But yes, so what do we do? I'm just moving my little boxes around on my screen. So we provide supports to buyers wanting to implement supplier diversity. So at the moment, we have over 100 buyers that are wanting to engage with Māori and Pacifica businesses. So that's a great start for our Māori and Pacifica businesses. So some of that is these government mandated agencies that we keep talking about. A lot of them are just tier 1 businesses. We're getting iwi on board. And I must say, I'm really impressed with the Hawke's Bay councils. They're really engaged in this process. I think I have Hastings District Council on board, Hawke's Bay Regional Council on board, and I've talked to Central Hawke's Bay Council, and I'm actually on my way there next month to talk to the other councils that are there as well. So it's been really great for me to be able to support them and share with them our Māori businesses that are registered on our database, and actually talk through what the programs of work looks like for council and where our Māori and Pacifica businesses can fit in. So yes, we also maintain an online database of verified Māori and Pacifica businesses, and it's really important to note that like the video said, Māori or Pacifica businesses is 50% owned by a Māori, and you know that's because Māori businesses, we like to create intergenerational wealth, and so we just want to make sure that kaupapa is going through all of our businesses. So we have a team up in Auckland that verify your business and link in what iwi you associate with. And then not only that, but we work with partners to grow the capability and capacity of our Māori and Pacifica businesses. And so, you know, that's kind of understanding the whole ecosystem and where your business is at, and then looking at how we can help grow your business so that you're ready to tender for opportunities that come your way. So how it works is we will have buyers registered on our database. Buyers actually pay to be on our database, and depending on their membership model, determines how much support they get from us. With councils, and councils and iwis, we have a separate offer for them, and so that's why I'm able to work alongside the councils there. So yeah, when a buyer comes on board and has some opportunities, we can look in our database to say what Māori business or what Pacifica business has the capacity, and we will often do a matchmaking piece to make sure that it is the right fit. And so these are just some of the buyers that are already registered on our database. And like I said, so there's tier 1 businesses here. We've got banks, we've got Auckland Council, and then we've got government agencies. So if you're online and you're a Māori business and you think that you have a service that can contract to some of these businesses that you can see here, then definitely reach out to me, and we can work on. If you're already registered, then great, let's continue to have that conversation. And if you're not registered, let's get you registered, and then we can go through what the whole process looks like. And this is just some interesting insights around what Māori businesses look like. So of the Māori businesses that we do have online, there's over 12,000 Māori FTE. 66% of those employees are of Māori or Pacifica businesses within the Māori business. On average, they have 12 employees, and we have over 1,000 Māori or Pacifica businesses registered on our database. That's across the country. This is just to show you that we do have a national team. Just looking at this, the slide's a little bit old. We've had a few people move on and some new faces join. But yeah, this is our wonderful team. So we're supported by a national team in Auckland. And then we have Manuhia regional relationship managers across the country as well. And yeah, so we, Amotai, are seen as supply diversity intermediary for central government. And as I mentioned before, and as you saw in that video, government agencies are mandated now to buy from Māori and Pacifica businesses. I mean, 5% is not a very high target, so it's probably an easy win for some of our buyers when engaging with some of our businesses. And this is my last slide, guys. So yeah, nau mai, haere mai, and please register online if you would like to hear more. When registering on our database, it's really important. It's a very quick, simple registration form. It probably takes about 10 minutes. What's really important to note is that the information that you're putting in to the database is your most current information. It asks for information if you've got pre-quals, if you've done tender documentations and things like that, and then we can see at what stage your business is ready to engage with some of these buyers and get some contracts. That's me. Thank you for listening in. Is there any questions?
We do have questions. Thank you so much for that. That was awesome. I just have a question of my own, so I have to quickly jump. Awesome. So we'll get into the questions. Is there any businesses that you can't work with, maybe too small or too big?
No. So our one and only criteria is around the 50% Māori owned. So you might have a business partner that is not Māori or Pacifica, and that's absolutely fine as long as you've both got shareholdings in the business and it's 50-50, then that's fine. If you have a trust, because a lot of Māori businesses are in trusts, we can still register your business and we can work with our certification team in Auckland to really delve down and how your business is structured.
Awesome, thank you. Next up, can you touch on the relationship between Amotai and the Pacific Business Trust?
The Pacific Business Trust?
Yes. I don't have much more info than that.
No. To be honest, I can't, but I'm happy to go back.
That's okay. And where that question came from, I'm sure they can jump on and find something out, or get in touch. Next one is lots of positive feedback for you, Tui. As an SME and someone who supports SMEs, are you please able to explain how SMEs can access the database as a supplier? Good
question. So first and foremost, register on the database, because once you're registered in the database, you can actually look at other Māori businesses on there as well, and also buyers can see your business, and also you can see buyers in the database. So yeah, we do encourage you to register, and then you can buy from other Māori or Pacifica businesses.
We've just got to follow up on that. They are not a Maori business.
Okay. And what would the purpose be for just wanting to know?
Sorry, I'll continue the rest of the question.
Sure.
As an SME, I'm wondering about the paywall. I can understand for big business contracts, but if SMEs want to switch up their procurement, how can they do that without a financial burden?
And it's not a Māori business. That's kind of a tricky question, to be honest.
We can also, if you like, if you want to take any parts offline, you're welcome to give a contact or anything as well.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yes, if we could do that, that would be great. I'm just trying to understand a little bit more about.
Perhaps, Terry, they might be asking. How can they become potentially, just reading here, that how can they become a buyer? And if they're a really small business and you have to pay to become a buyer, so they can diversify, your contracted services.
Now I'm following.
Yeah, the cost may be a barrier. How can they still utilise Māori and Pacifica business without incurring a financial burden?
Yeah, totally. Cool. Great question. Sorry. Get in touch with me and we can have a corridor around that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Next part, I think you've covered it. It may be our website, but just to clarify the process to become a buyer and the process to become
a supplier. Yep, sure. So just on our website, there was a link there at the end. If you click on register your business, so it'll say register a Māori or a Pacifica business, then click on that link and then it'll take you to the registration form. And likewise, if you are a buyer wanting to engage with Māori or Pacifica businesses, if you click on that registration link, then you'd register as a buyer. And then that will take you through to those the membership models. And so for the business that wants to engage, and cost is an issue, let's take that conversation offline. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much. And I'm just putting Tui's email in the chat. So if that person wants to take it offline, they absolutely can as well. What is the cost for either side to be part of Amotai? Sorry, I think we have touched on this, but
so for a Māori or Pacifica business, it's free to register your business. So there's no cost to that. But if you are wanting to become a buyer, then there are different membership models, and those costings are on our website. So they range from $2,000 to $12,000, an annual fee. Yeah.
And what is a tier 1 business?
A tier 1 business. Oh, so should I go back to my spreadsheet? Am I still sharing my screen?
No, but you should be able to take it over, I think.
Okay, no, that's all good. I will just talk about some of these. I'll just get that slide. So basically, move that out of the way. So tier 1 businesses are the likes of the Fulton Hogan's, Downer. So they've kind of been in business for who knows how long, and they've got the different credentials. They've got pre-quals, they've got a certain level of revenue. So there's kind of criteria. It's language that the construction business use. So if you're in that kind of industry, you'll know what a tier 1 business is. If you're just a small business, then you're on a journey to becoming a tier 1 business.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And lucky last part, I think. Yep, last one before we wrap up is you spoke about sort of making sure you put the right information into the system. Is there somewhere that our businesses can go, or any guidance maybe on the website of how to make sure you're getting that right?
Yeah, so it's all part of the registration package. So once you register online and our team in Auckland verify your business, you'll get an automated email that says welcome to our database, and give you those login details to get onto the database. Once you're on the database, it's about making sure that the information that you use to register is still current and up to date. So you could be a business that's working through one of the council's prerequisites for engaging with council, and you don't have anything at your registration point, but in 6 months' time you've done that. So that would be really handy for council to see that actually, yes, this Māori business has worked through those pre-qualifications. They've also worked through their health and safety. So they've actually grown business capability in those last 6 months. They could have grown in terms of FTE. So it's just making sure all that information is up to date, so that the buyer can see that you're growing that capability and capacity within your business.
Thank you so much. That's all the questions, and so that's all from me, but I just want to say a massive thank you for coming on before I pass back to Angela. And I think it's been awesome today to see both Pautama Trust and Amotai and the support we have out there for Pākehā Māori and our Pacifica businesses too. But I'll pass back to Ange.
Thanks, Tess. And thanks, Tui. I totally agree that it's amazing to see the level of support that is out there for our Māori and Pacifica businesses. And, if you are Māori or Pacifica business, can I really just encourage you to reach out to Tui and have a chat if you're unsure about things. I think Amotai is going to open up a world of opportunity for your business and for growth. So do copy down that email address or head to the website for Amotai and connect with them. To our audience who have joined us live and those here on our Zoom, thank you again for attending. Could I encourage you to take a look at those sessions we've got coming up this afternoon, Hawke's Bay Business Hub and our New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, talking about how to grow your business for export. So it'd be great to have you along to those sessions, or our government agency sessions tomorrow. All sessions are going to be uploaded, like I said earlier, to the Digital Boost YouTube channel. You will get a link sent automatically to you if you've registered for this session, so that will come out in the next day or so. Once again, thank you for joining us, and that brings our session to a close. Thank you. Thanks, team.